Coronavirus, Austria bans all gatherings of more than 5 people. I love how every country chooses such different maximum numbers. Austria, over 5 is too many. Some other countries, nah, 4,999 is still good. Austria, a country of 8 people. Fuck, they're tall. Removed. Can't even live in my own home anymore. SMH, Dungeons and Dragons is still on the menu, boys. That family of 6 is gonna have to let one go. Edit. Jokes aside, COVID-19 is a serious issue threatening many people's livelihood and well-being. Stay safe, sanitary, and look out for one another. My birthday party with all my friends can still go ahead. Hooray. Family of 6, we've talked it over, and Billy. You're out. Billy, but Mom, why? Where will I go? Dad, you will address her as Mrs. Stevenson from now on. Leave your house key and Legos at the door. Short summary from one frontline. From many yesterday we barely had any patients in our emergency ambulance at night, mostly moderate to heavy cases. A colleague made 2 tests, all were negative. Today I've been told that we have 4 people, waiting in the ambulance. We have to wear our PSE, and those masks suck after 3 hours. Everybody stuck to rigid procedures like we had to win a contest. We closed our geriatric ward, it just makes sense because of the vulnerable patients, and those beds are reserved if things go south. I'm without my ward now, so I'll receive new orders tomorrow. Guess I'll be a jumper who helps out where it's needed. I have to praise our population right now. There were panic buyouts of foodstuffs and sanitizer, but it calmed down. The government took drastic measures in a short time frame. And as we can see, people follow the recommendations and stay home. 4 people in the ambulance, can't believe it. Yesterday at 1800 hours on my way to work there were barely any cars and people, and on my way home today, Sunday, I've met like 10 people. On public transport. Stay safe and stick to the procedure. A doctor. If it works, then great. 5 seems extreme. But I know in my area when the lockdown hits, there'll be house parties galore, because that's my area in a nutshell. ITT, the same joke about families with more than 5 people repeated ad nauseum. Hi from Austria, Amstetten. It's so empty outside. No one around. Creepy. This is bullshit. You can't have a decent gangbang with only 5 people. Donnie, Rafleo, Mikey, and Splinter. The Ninja Turtles are within the limits. That's a relief. If it's a D&D gathering, does the DM count? Will Morgan Ned Hakln, Oida. In Kazakhstan, it is illegal for more than 5 women to be in same place, except for in brothel or in grave. It's gonna be fucking rough for people in recovery, myself included. AA meetings are a vital part of my continued sobriety. What about the Power Rangers? Austrian boy bands breathe a sigh of relief. Austrian here, all good here. Rules by the government make sense and are mostly followed. Although we are also in the midst of idiots hoarding toilet paper. The Von Trapp family has some issues with that. Family is cancelled. What did the buffalo say to his 4th-born son in the wake of these coronavirus restrictions? Bison. Austrian here. What's the best way of reporting this as fake news? I don't know where they pulled that number from, but it's not true. Edit. Our government put out more restrictions when it comes to being out in public, but the number of 5 people was never specified. That new restriction is only applied when it comes to being in public and you're not supposed to leave the house anyway unless it's for work or groceries. The gist of it all is you'll be approached by patrolling police officers and asked to disperse if you are seen in a bigger group in public. Edit 2, I've been corrected about the number of 5. My bad. And then there is the UK. Very strange to see right-wingers on social media, who are still convinced this is all Democrats overreacting in order to make trouble for Trump in election season. Yes, the whole world got together, manufactured a virus, got people sick, offing the elderly and fucked the world economy up to avoid 4 more years a Republican president in the United States. Deleted. Honest question. If the whole world is going in quarantine, with the goal of slowing the virus down for everyone doesn't get sick at the same time. When we go out of quarantine in a month or whatever, won't the virus resume to then spread like wildfire? Wouldn't it make more sense to trade off groups of people in quarantine, that way we all don't get sick at the same exact time? Pretty much, you can run from the corona but you can't hide. Yet here in Canada I still bad Toto to the office and sit with 30 other people in one room. Parties over 5 must sign into Xbox Live. Narrator, obviously, the verdict was in. And it's hard to know exactly why Michael opened the 5th ballot. Was it out of hope or confusion? Either way, it couldn't be what he wanted to read. So Nickelback doesn't have to cancel their shows. Some form of this is gonna need to happen worldwide super soon. Removed. Except in extreme barbecue situations, winky. How far away does the 5th person have to stand to not be considered part of a gathering? Austria is simply following Borat's advice. In Kazakhstan, it is illegal for more than 5 women to be in the same place except for a brothel or a grave. Austrian here. Well, to clarify a few things. As many people don't know, we share a border with the Italians, the land with the most reported cases. 2. Because of how bad the healthcare system in Italy is, which I know because I have a few Italian friends, the people there are deciding who is most possible to survive the virus, so they don't tread the ones who need more medication/time. 3. Before this situation gets worse in Austria, there are apparently around 730 cases today, whilst 3 days ago it was only 250. All the ministers took actions, left and right. On Friday it was only that schools will be closed and the bars and restaurants have to close at 3 p.m. As the situation keeps getting worse, the Chancellor and the or her ministers take more action. The contact should be limited to a minimum because the virus spreads really fast. Yes, gatherings are allowed for 5 people. Yes, you should only go out when you need to go grocery shopping or help the elderlies. A. There is not an official announcement, but people in Austria put on notes in houses that they would go grocery shopping for elderly people because of the increased risk of getting infected. I mean, everybody in Austria helps, except for a few stupid people. 5. We all stay at home. Yeah, really, we do not really complain. All tough Austrians are lovable to complain, we kind of accept it as it is, all of the generations. And yeah, we can pay up though €2,180 for going out meeting people we don't live together with, but there could also be a fine of €3,600 if your kids visit the playground. Nearly everybody in Austria agrees with what the government decided. And we also don't hoard that much groceries and TB like people in US or Australia do. It is a bit annoying for the students because libraries are closed and we need books, but every teacher is doing his very best so that everybody has the possibility to study and gets his grades at the end of the semester. If you have any questions, just ask me. Parents with 4 or more kids have now been separated. I see most of the best commenta here are joking about this measure. But this is what you should be taking seriously. Reducing social activity really helps relieve the high infection rate.